Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the Grow Your Life podcast. My name is Jeremiah Krakowski. In this podcast, we talk about ways of growing in your life and your business to be able to accomplish more as a coach, trainer, and mentor. Now today I want to talk about something that is really close to me as far as something that we're doing. I've been doing webinars and trainings and coaching for the last year and a half, actually 2 years straight pretty much, where I speak on camera, I connect with people, I record a weekly podcast, I create content, and I do so very simply, very easily, very confidently because I've been doing it. But it's a skill set that I did not have initially. You know, when I started creating content, I was not confident. I felt super self-conscious. I felt afraid of looking silly and saying the wrong things, and was a perfectionist about what I was thinking, what I was saying, and I got too caught up in my head all the time. And so what I've learned is how to get out of my head and really flow from a flow state when I'm doing my content. And so there's a routine that I actually go into depending on what type of content that I'm creating. Number one, you know, when it comes to a podcast like this, I often record them on the coattails of a coaching or training that I've just done with a group of people. So like for instance, I just got done doing a training with my group, and now I'm recording this podcast right here because I'm coming off the high of that training. So that's one of the things that I'll do. Other times is if I just have a spark of an idea, I'll go live on my social media. If I have a spark of an idea, I'll type it into my phone, and I'll have ChatGPT sometimes help me reword it if I'm not sure if it's coming across very well. So those are some ways of creating content. But what I really want to focus in right now is on the confidence to do video content and to flow with that video content. And if you're struggling to get out of your head, here's a couple of techniques that I've used that work, that are foolproof, especially in the most anxiety-inducing instances of creating content. So for me, if I'm doing a webinar or I'm doing a challenge or something like that, I have a little bit of a level of anxiety before doing so. So I have a routine that I go through where I do that. Number one, I eat something. I eat something of some kind to give me energy. Something that's going to give me energy, that's going to sustain me. So something that's a carbohydrate, something that has protein, and something that has fat. Something balanced with fat, proteins, and carbohydrates. And so what that does is that helps me, inspires me, and it gets the juices flowing in my brain. Then I make sure that I drink an ample amount of water, and sometimes I might also have a cup of coffee at the same time. Okay, so that kind of lights up my brain, but then the water helps hydrate me at the same time. Then I might go take a shower, or I might go swim or something like that, or I might go for a walk or walk on my treadmill. So this is actually a routine that I used to do, is I would eat something, drink coffee, have some water, and then I'd go for a walk or I'd take a shower. And then as I came out of that, I would feel so excited and lit up that's when I would press into either recording a piece of content or delivering it live to people, is coming from that place. And so find a routine for you that makes you feel like $1,000,000. That's one of the biggest things, is you can cultivate feeling like $1,000,000. You can cultivate feeling very confident, and it can be different for everybody. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I told him, you know, listen, he loves to worship, and I said, worship before you make content. Watch what happens. It will flow better for you. One of the biggest things that stops us from being successful is worrying way too much what everybody thinks about us. And I get it. It comes from past experiences. It comes from situations where we got judged. It also comes from our own judgment towards other people. You know, if I look at a speaker that's out there and I judge how they're talking or how they're communicating and things like that, then I become self-conscious and judgmental of what I'm doing. And if I've had a naysayer or somebody who's mean say something to me, I might become self-conscious of how I communicate or how I talk with people. Now, I think we can all grow in our skill set of communication. We can all grow in our ability to deliver content. You know, today, who you see in front of me in front of you today is different than who I was 2 years ago or even 3 years ago when I started this podcast. You can see I'm a lot more confident. I flow a lot better. I'm a lot more relaxed when I'm talking. And that has come through working through what are the limiting beliefs in my mind and helping to calm my mind. Another great exercise that I love to do is I'll do a meditation where I'll breathe in and I'll focus in on my core. I'll breathe in, I'll breathe out. There's an app, it's called headspace.com, that can give you a guided meditation through breathing that can actually help calm you down internally, especially if you know that you got a lot of brain chatter going on. Learning to calm that down is effective when it comes to you being able to teach, speak, and create content. I find that when I calm my brain down, it actually allows me to flow much better, and it flows from instinct and intuition. Okay? And so that's what I do anytime I'm making content, is I have sort of a direction that I'm going. I kind of chart my path, but I don't necessarily spend a lot of time coming up with what I'm going to say. I more flow instinctually and intuitively. And so the way that we can do that is we get into a state of mind to where we're the happiest, we're the most confident, where we feel like $1,000,000. And for me, as I want to feel like I'm on top of the world, I want to feel like I am just celebrated by everybody who's going to listen to this, that people are going to cheer me on, and I don't think about what the haters or naysayers are going to say. I can tell you this, that if you're ever creating content and you're trying to justify yourself to a hater or a naysayer, it's not going to flow very well. It's going to come out awkward. Rather, imagine you're talking to a really close confidant and friend about something that was happening to you. And you know that there's nothing you could do that could be wrong by them. There's nothing you could say that could be wrong by them. And then you're just talking, you're just sharing, you're just conversational. When you can deliver content from that place of you're just having a conversation, you're just having fun with it, it becomes fun and less of a task. Your content will become better. You'll impact people more. You'll actually string your ideas and thoughts together well. And you'll create a better piece of content. A few things to be aware of, though, when you do this. Be cautious to not ramble too much. Again, don't be super self-conscious of that. Listen, you're talking to somebody who's like the king of rambling. You're talking to somebody who is like, I go off on a tangent all the time on things sometimes. And yet that is part of my personality. And I'm okay with that because that is authentic for me. But I want to make sure that I'm landing the plane as well as I'm flying it. Okay? And we want to make sure that we're actually headed in a direction and that we're getting to the point as quickly as possible. One of the best exercises that you can do is learning how to communicate your thoughts with as few words. Learning how to communicate your thoughts with as simple of words as possible. And a great resource for this that I love to use is ChatGPT. Again, ChatGPT can help us reword difficult thoughts in very simple ways. So for instance, I want to show you how I use ChatGPT to do this. Can you describe what it feels like to give a talk or speech in a flow state as if you're talking to a fourth grader? So I'm asking ChatGPT to explain this to a fourth grader, which is going to make it very simple. Imagine you're telling a story to a friend, a story that you really, really like a lot. When you start talking, you're super excited and the words just come to you easily. You're not even thinking hard about what you're going to say next. It's like the story's telling itself. That's what it's like when you're giving a speech or talk in a flow state. It's when you know so much about what you're talking about and you're so into it that everything just feels easy. You're not worried or scared. You're just having fun sharing what you know. It's like you're playing a game and you're doing really well and you're not even thinking about it. You're just enjoying the game. That's how it feels. And I promise you, you can get there with your talking, with your speech. But oftentimes we overanalyze and overthink, trying to please people, trying to sound good enough, trying to sound right, trying to make sure we say all the right things. One of the things we got to stop being worried about is disappointing other people and seeking other people's approval. Here's the thing. The people who disapprove of you, there's nothing you can do to change their mind. And the people who love you, there's nothing you can do that's going to make them dislike you. So focus in on not worrying about what nobody thinks about you when you go out there and put content out there. And you will do better by doing that, by literally just unlocking this I don't give any concern to what somebody or people think about me while I'm creating my content. And you'll do much better by doing that. Now, you might have to train yourself to do this. Here's one of the ways that I encourage people to do this is to borrow from other parts of their life. To borrow from other areas of your life where maybe you felt confident. So for instance, what is something that you do on a daily basis, consistently already, that you feel really confident and like you know your stuff about? Could be real estate, could be mortgages, could be something like that. Borrow that feeling when you're in your best state of mind in that area and bring it into the thing that you don't feel confident in. And it might take you faking it and trying it on initially. It might also take saying some affirmations. It might take you rewiring your brain and programming it to be able to operate in this way. But I promise you that it's worth it in the long run. You can accomplish anything that you set out to do. You can become an incredible speaker. You can become an incredible content creator. But it's going to take challenging maybe some of the beliefs that you've had. So one of the number one things that we got to be cautious of is, how have we judged other people? Have we harshly judged others when they're doing the thing that we want to set out to do? And then, how do we harshly judge ourselves? How do we harshly criticize ourselves? What you want to do is you want to be your biggest cheerleader. And really what I do is I take on the role of, if I'm thinking about my son. So my son is 10 months old. He's learning to walk, but he falls down. Do I beat him up and get angry at him when he falls down? My goodness, that would be child abuse. No, not at all. I celebrate him when he falls down because he at least gave it his best shot. And he gets all excited and happy for falling down. I'm training my son by doing this to be resilient. And that's something that I believe that we can train ourselves to do as well, to be resilient, to actually look at the fact that we don't fail at things, but rather they're always learning experiences that are stepping us up to the next level. You either reach your goal and do excellent at it, or you learn a lesson. And learning a lesson is incredible. And learning to embrace learning lessons because of how they compound and how they build is a superpower. I believe that no matter who you are, no matter where you are today, I'm thinking about some people that I've met. They're just like, man, little old me just does not feel confident talking to anybody. Well, have you tried? Have you tried to record something? Have you tried to talk? What are the thoughts that go through your head? Who planted those thoughts? Where have you come up with those thoughts? Where did you come up with thinking that way, that you got to do everything perfectly? When you can address those things and you become okay with just giving it your best, realize that you can always improve over time and that you're never going to be perfect, and that's a good thing. And it's a good thing to not try to be perfect, but to rather just be authentic and to connect and to be curious and to make connections with people that you're best meant to reach. That becomes an incredible way of creating content, recording videos, and showing up as your best, most powerful, confident self. People are attracted to who are confident. People love to listen to people who believe in and have conviction about what they're talking about. Be a person of conviction. Be a person who projects an energy that I believe in what I'm talking about and I know my stuff. Even if you have doubt. Now that might take some skill to be able to do that, but I think we can all agree we do that in other areas of our life as well. And you can do that as well in this area. I think so often we get caught up in our head, overthinking, trying to make sure that we say the right things and do the right things and show up and present ourselves in a perfect way. Here's one of the biggest things that I say, and it's a little bit controversial, but I stand by it. And I've been saying it for years. And I believe it more today than I ever have. Stop worrying so darn much about your reputation. Let your reputation take care of itself. If you're a person of integrity and of character, your reputation will be just fine. Not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay. And you don't need everybody to like you. Be willing to just show up and even fail publicly, and that's okay. And that's a good thing because it's going to help you grow to the next level. For me, I don't give any concern as to what my reputation is in 99% of any situation. And that's given me a lot of peace, because I literally don't spend a lot of time trying to cultivate and curate what people think about me at all. People can think whatever they want about me. People can think whatever they want about me not curating my reputation. Some of you have lost all respect for me because I just said that. I'm okay with that. Because I know that those that are meant to hear this message are going to be impacted by it. It's going to change their lives. So listen, if this message has impacted you, number one, please share it with somebody. Number two, consider joining my Client Growth Accelerator program when we open the doors to it. If you are a coach, mentor, trainer, somebody who wants to create multiple 6 figures and even 7 figures, selling online courses, training, coaching programs, we walk you through everything. We got all the training, everything, no stone unturned to help you do that. And you get to work with me and meet with me on a live Zoom call every single week to be able to build your business together with us, with our community. It's incredible. I believe in you, and I know that whatever you're going through right now, you can grow from this into the next version of you that's going to be able to accomplish your goals. Don't give up. Don't quit too soon. Stay consistent and grow your life, everybody. I'll see you all next week. We'll talk soon.